And I'll ask you to start to tap into that breath. So as you're there, maybe one hand comes to your heart, one hand to your low belly. We're going to take that nice, steady 4 count in. We hold for 2, 6 count out. We hold for 2. The hold, that's the really important part, right? That's what checks us and brings us to that present moment awareness. So if you have your hand on your low belly, on the inhale, I want you to try to really get the breath down to that space. And here we go. Take a big breath in. Pause. Release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Awesome. Big breath in. Pause. Control. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Big breath in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. Now these next breaths, I want you to take your knees and just draw them together and stretch yourself out on your mat. Get as long as you can. Arms overhead, legs out long. And just for a moment, wiggle some circles into your ankles and your hands. Just kind of see what's there. If this hurts your back, by the way, feel free to take the opposite. Take your legs wide. Take a nice healthy bend in your knees and bring your knees together. But if your back's feeling okay, let's just really stretch it out. This is going to be a big, huge inhale. And this one makes me laugh, right? You're going to open your mouth, stick out your tongue on the exhale. It's called lion's breath. And since we're at home and we can all do this and no one, is there to see us and judge us, I want you to be obnoxious with it and roar it out like a lion and get out anything you need to get out, like my 4 college kids living in the basement that I've been cooking for the past, 8 weeks now. Here we go. Inhale, reach it. Pause, stick out the tongue. Like that way, just get that exhaustion out. Again, inhale, reach it. Pause, stick out the tongue. Last one. Big breath in. Pause, stick out the tongue. Perfect. Let it go. Slowly bring the hands down by your side. Draw the right knee in. Let that left leg just stay right where it is. Take a breath. And as you exhale, squeeze that leg in and up. You might feel a little impingement in your hip flexors. Super okay. Now take a breath. This time as you exhale, squeeze the knee in, and I want you to lift your head, neck, and shoulders. If you can, tap your little nose to your knee. Working a little bit of core. So if you're new to me, I like to warm everything up. We got to start with the core and the back connection. Now inhale, squeeze, get tiny. Hold. Take another inhale here. Squeeze, get even tinier. You might even start to pull your head inside. Inhale. Squeeze, lift, 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 and just for giggles, let's hover the left leg the tiniest bit. Now hold, find your core. Hold, now check if you want, right? Just for giggles. You don't have to do this. Could you let go of that leg and stay as tiny as you were? If everything falls to shit, it's okay. Come back right here and hold. If you can let go and stay here, hold. 3, 2, 1. Release. Bring that knee across the body. Come into a nice, easy twist. Big inhale in, and then really on the exhale, think about that right shoulder. Just notice, right? Mine's tight, totally tight. I'm a mile off the mat. So I'm going to try and breathe into that pec. Maybe you take the left hand on top of that leg, give it a little step. And then slowly come back to center. Draw the knee in just nice and easy this time. Take the left knee and I want you to bend it. Find that figure 4. Just checking out the hips here. Flex both feet. And if you can, we're going to go and just use our muscles to do this. If you're like, God, Lindsay, you're being a real bitch today, Go on and put your right hand through the hole and grab around the hamstring. Take a little more passive approach. Otherwise, we're going to take it a little more active. And when I say active, we're going to flex the left foot. Again, pull in using the muscles of the left leg. Engage your belly. Push your low back down. And then just see what's here in this right side. No judgment. Just check it out. Another inhale, in and out. How's it feeling? Like, what's the tightest? Is it this left leg you're asking to work, or is it this right hip? Take a breath. Now, a little bit spicier, stretch the leg up. Now lift up. If you can, grab your shin. Now, a couple of options here. Depends kind of on how long your arms are. You could track out that right knee with your elbow, or just relax and pull this left leg, not up like over my head, but down to the ground and try and really straighten it and push through your heel. So that's different, right? I'm not trying to get that like 20-something hyper flexibility where I'm like about to lick my shin. Instead, I'm really trying to push my hip into the ground, and I'm actually on the little torque with my hands pulling that left hip down and pushing through that heel. Starting to say hello to the calf, the Achilles, and everything that's going to lead to that hamstring. Big breath in. And now point that leg and take some circles. You're not pointing your leg, you're pointing your toes. Move in both directions. And then slowly release. Bring the left foot down, bring the right foot down. You're going to take them a little wider than the hips. Take your hands overhead and just really gentle windshield wipers. So again, when I say gentle, you're not using any muscles. You're just passively going back and forth, side to side, getting that mobility in the spine and the hips. And then come back to center. Take the right leg out long. Let's trade left shin in, squeezing it in and out first. Just a nice, gentle wind relieving posture. A little low back release here. Super great for digestion. Now we add a little bit more love. Slowly start to peel yourself up. Right foot to start is straight down. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, squeeze it in and up. Could you get your nose to your knee? Hold. Maybe you're feeling breakfast, right? Hold, squeeze, push that low back down. Now hover the right leg if you can. If you can't, don't stress. We want the low back nice and engaged with the mat. Now again, squeeze it up. Little spice here. Release the hands and stay there. If you're like, girl, you hold on and squeeze that crap in all you can. Take a breath. Exhale, lift. Take a breath. Exhale, lift. Take a breath. Exhale, squeeze. And then slowly relax everything down. Take the left knee across the body. Come into that twist. Now this twist is passive. We're just laying here, checking it out. Check out your left shoulder, the front, your pec, your chest. Let your arm be out long on the left. And then if you want just a little self-assist, you just take that right hand and grab that leg. And we call it scrubbing. You kind of grab back by your hamstring and pull it in and up. Just the tiniest little bit. Not pushing, just a little kind of pulling it up. Big inhale in. Exhale, let it all go. And then slowly draw that knee back up. Just hold on to it loosely. Take this right foot down. Bend the knee, come into your figure four. Again, you got options. Passive, you're going to lift up and pull in and kind of check out what's there. That's super cool. I don't know what you've done before this, but I always like things active. So I'm going to use a little bit of core here. I'm going to push my low back down. I'm going to ask this right leg to do the work. Now, I don't always do it this way. So just know whatever you choose is double thumbs up. Like, that's perfect. Flex the foot. Flex both feet, pull in. Again, just kind of check out what this knee's doing. On the left, check out which side feels a little grumpier, right? And now we get a little spicier. Extend the leg up. For some of us, that's not anything at all. The hard part is going to be getting up here. So you got to use a little core maybe to get yourself and grab somewhere on that leg, and then try and relax. But again, I'm not trying to get my foot to come over my head. This is not ballet. This is not gymnastics. This is yoga for the athlete, the tight and tired person, right? So think, push your right hip down, and then flex through that heel. Now, if it's there, this left elbow could track your knee out if you feel like you want to try and find a little more space. We're going to get into the hips like no one's business today. So don't stress over finding a ton of space right now. Again, push that right hip down. Now push through the heel. Really fire up that calf, that Achilles. And then point that sucker. And then take some circles. Get those cracks out. And then slowly take a bend back in the right knee. Bring the foot down. Bring the left foot out. They're nice and wide. And again, we windshield wiper side to side. And then draw those knees into your chest. Use a little bit of belly. Rock and roll it front to back. Couple passes through, just like you're a little kid. Couple things we're doing here. We're using a little core, and we're massaging that back. And then slow, lift yourself up to a comfortable seat. You're going to come into a bound angle. So you may have been here on your back. Now I'm going to ask you, if you feel like you have a lot of space to give, to grab a block, a book, a pillow, anything. If you are like, this is killing me right where I am, you don't need a thing. For those of us that have a little more space to give, I've been doing a ton of frog this week, so like this stuff's wide open in my body. So I'm just going to tweak it a little bit. I'm going to take a block underneath my feet. Now, what that does is it lifts my feet up, 4 inches, but it gets into my outer hip a little bit too. It's not quite as fabulous and relaxing. Fingertips are going to come behind. Now, inhale, think ribs forward. This is even if you don't have a block there. Now, push the butt down and kind of back. Think I'm bringing my ribs forward. Take a breath. And then keep coming forward. Now, if you can keep a long spine, reach the hands forward. If you have your block, you're going to grab your block. If you're not using a block, you'll grab your ankle. Take a breath, pull in, and then exhale. Take your elbows out towards your knees. Don't push down. I don't want the elbows on the legs. Big inhale. Big exhale. Pulling down. One more breath. Think long spine. Don't worry about the inner thighs. If your spine can be long, the length will come. And then slowly lift up and come out of that. You have a block there. Put that puppy to the side. You're going to bring your left knee underneath, your left foot, I should say, and bring that thing by your hip, and then cross over into what we call a sage twist. This top leg, your right leg is going to be out by your knee. This twist is more about your outer hip than it is about your back. So our goal is to squeeze these knees in. Mine is like taking off towards my washing machine over here. It's super tight today. So I'm going to just kind of sit here and pull it in for a couple breaths. I'm going to give it a hug. If you're super stretchy and twisty, your elbow might be outside. Right hand comes behind. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, twist. Draw the belly in. Take a breath in. And exhale, twist. Now hold the twist. Take your chin as far to the right as you can. Let's work our eyeballs because we've all been on our computers too much. Take your eyes as far to the right as you can until you feel literally those little ocular muscles holding those eyeballs in your head. Couple of breaths. Keep looking as far right as you can. Breath in. Look further, breath out. And then slowly bring the gaze back to neutral. Find the computer screen. Try and focus and just kind of notice, right, how that landed in your body. And then take this right foot forward, take this left foot forward, windshield wiper a little side to side. Little pit stop, gonna get into the chest and those shoulders for my gal Isabella. Gonna bring those hands, go backwards today just for giggles. If this bothers your wrist, take your hands like little slippers left and right. For the rest of us, I'm gonna turn my fingers backwards. Just trying to mix it up a little bit. You're gonna bring those palms in a little more narrow than your hips. And then think external rotation through the shoulders. So pull them back, stick out your collarbone. Now, really try and lift a little bit of to lift your butt up and bring it towards your heels. Perfect. And then slowly bend those elbows and then let the head drop back a little bit. So big stretch through the front of the chest and those pec and deltoid lovely muscles. You can kind of pulse a little bit further into it if you want. And then slowly lift up. Use your belly, lift your butt up, and come on back. Come out of that. This time, take your right leg underneath, left leg on top. And again, just kind of notice, right, which side feels tighter. For me, I don't know. They're both really tight today. We're going to draw in. Squeeze it in first. Give it a little hug. Again, if you're really twisty, the elbows outside. I can do that, but I got to tell you, just because I can do it doesn't mean I do it that way. So food for thought. Just because you can take something deeper doesn't mean you should take it deeper. Now, draw the belly in. Think about your spine super long. Big inhale, lengthen. On your exhale, we twist. Going over the left shoulder. Take the chin as far to the left as you can. And then include those eyeballs, right? So if you're not used to this, this is a weird little exercise I like to do. My son had a wicking concussion 2 semesters ago. I spent a lot of time studying those ocular muscles and how important they are to keep them strong so that our brain is working at its best and we actually have balance and the ability to accept what it is we're looking at. So really ask them to work. Move those eyeballs as far left as you can until you feel that gentle tug of your eyeball muscles. Sounds disgusting, but it is something we should think about. One more breath. And then bring that gaze forward. Let the eyeballs come back into focus if they got out of there. And then come out and windshield wiper side to side. Perfect. Now, slowly roll over, come into your tabletop. Take those knees directly underneath your hips, hands directly underneath your shoulders. Drop your belly, gaze is up, head is up. And then round through the spine, push down, lift up, get super rounded, and kind of shift it back. And then kind of shift it forward. Just let it be what it is. Hold in that cat. Unless you love cow, feel free. But cat, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Big stretch, push against the floor. Stretch, stretch through the top of the back. And then come into that nice neutral space in the spine. Awesome. Tuck the toes under. You guys know we're just going to get it over with right away. Have a seat on your heels. Perfect. We're going to do the same thing. I think I did this on Wednesday too. Little love through the neck and the shoulder and the chest. So you got your toes tucked, chest. Make sure your pinkies in the picture. If this drives your knees nuts, you can put something under your knees. You can sit on a block. I would like to say you cannot do it, of course. But this is something we should all be able to hold for a minimum of 2 minutes. If you're already dying, you're not stuck. Come out, take a little moment, regroup, sit back down. For the rest of us, hands come behind, interlace, make a fist. Big inhale. Get those puppies as far up and out as you can. Now, I automatically stick my neck out. Habit, right? Pull up, back, and then bring those fists to the right. As far over as you can. Pull that right elbow back. So we're getting some stretch through the left side. Take a breath, and then drop that ear to the right. And again, pull the ears back so that they're stacked over the shoulders. And then play around with your chin. Like what feels the biggest length down the left of the body. Big, deep inhale in. Come back to that breath early. Find your pause. And then on your exhale, you let it soften. And then come up to neutral. Bring the hands out super wide. And then bring them over to the left. So we get here. Now we go a little deeper. Pull those elbows towards one another. Nice inhale in. And then drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Don't think about your feet. Mine are cooking today. Normally I don't feel much here, but I'm feeling today. Take another inhale. Drop them over. Pull your ears back. And then maybe you move your chin down and around a little bit. Totally up to you. And then inhale, come up to neutral. Let those hands come out. Let those toes come out. Do what you need to do. Wiggle them in circles, pitter patter. A lot of people like to do this. That feels pretty good, especially if you're like me and your shins were slightly on fire there. And then make your way back into your tabletop. Take the right leg, stretch it straight out behind. Now, slowly push into the heel. Keep the ball of your left foot right where it is. Draw your belly in and up, and then lift your hips back. So this is like a kind of an ugly down dog, just a big stretch through the calf, and we want to start to tap into the Achilles, but we're going to do that a little bit differently. So right now, I don't feel anything in my left leg. I'm not using it at all. It's all about that right calf. You're dying in your wrist. You could be doing this in what we call forearm, with your forearms down, like a dolphin. I got to tell you, that's some hard shit right there. Take a breath. Now, switch, bend your right knee, push into your left heel, and lift your toes. So your toes, if I was in the studio, guaranteed over half of you would have your heel up on the left foot. I want your toes up on the left foot. You're pushing like mad through that heel, and your right heel's up. Couple breaths. Shift those butts back and up as much as you can. And then slowly lower yourself back down onto the mat, coming into that tabletop. Take a round of cats and cows and just kind of check it out. And then left side, stretch the legs straight out, plant the ball of the foot, engage your belly, tuck the toes on both sides. And then lift your hips up. Push big time into this left heel first. Really push, push, push. I sounded like Hannah Frankson on Peloton. If anybody rides on the Peloton, you know Hannah Frankson. She's one of my favorites. She always says, push, 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 push. Push, push into that left heel. Your right foot's in front. Now let's trade. Lift the left heel. Push into the right, and then add that extra layer, right? Lift your toes and really push in. When you lift your toes and push into that right heel as much as you can, you're going to feel it, hopefully, in your Achilles, all the way up that calf. I don't feel the thing in my left leg because it's not doing too much. It's just kind of like a kickstand. One more breath. And then slowly lower it back down. This time, take the knees out wide. After this, we're going to get active. So just a nice, easy child's pose here. Take your knees wide, your toes together if you can. I'm going to add a twist. You don't have to. You can just take a normal child's pose. I'm going to take my left hand, thread it underneath. So a little love through the back coming at us. I'm going to flip my palm up today. Why not? You can flip your palm down or up. It does two different things on your shoulders. So kind of play around with it and just notice. It's a very subtle rotation. Which one you need today? Walk your right hand forward if you're going to twist with me. Fingertips are on the mat. Draw your belly in. Take a huge inhale. Really reach them forward. And then on the exhale, you twist them you walk them to the left and you turn yourself into a giant corkscrew. Now think. Push the right palm down. Push the hips back. One big inhale in. And then on the exhale, we slowly come out of it. Both hands come forward. Big inhale. Settle it on the exhale. And then trade. Right hand comes underneath. Palm is up if you did palm up on the other side. Or maybe palm down. Again, super subtle, but very different in the shoulder. Left hand's over your ear. Walk it to the right. Just check it out. So this is an active twist in child's pose. We are working so much. Back of the shoulder, working through the deltoid. We are working through the side body. We are working the QL, the hips, the butt, the shins, the ankles. Make it active. Draw the belly in and really push and twist if you're in it. If you're in child's pose, you stay there, breathe into that wonderful passive link through the spine and hips. Big inhale. And then slowly bring your left hand by your shoulders. Lift yourself up. You're going to draw the knees in a tiny little bit. I'm going to turn a little bit to the side for you guys. You're going to stay seated on those shins. If you have bad ankle flexibility right now, you don't love this. Super okay if that's you. We're going to start to warm up. Open up the chest. Let's check out the hip flexors. We're doing one of my favorites. It's called Bucking Bronco, or I call her the mud flat girl. You know, on the back of an 18-wheeler, and you see those little, like, naked lady outlines. Take your right hand. Thumb in, fingers out. Engage your belly. Most important part, protect your spine. Reach the left hand up to start. Take your gaze straight forward. Draw the belly in. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, squeeze your butt as you lift up. Now push into these right fingers. Reach the left hand back. Big inhale. Squeeze your glutes. Let the head hang back as much as you can. And then slowly turn your gaze towards that right hand towards the floor. Reach that left hand to the right. Breath in. And then as you exhale, just kind of curl out of it. It doesn't need to be pretty. It just feel like a lot of stuff was just checked. Left side, fingers back, thumb is forward, 4 fingers back. Now, again, we start not looking over. We look straight ahead. Draw the belly in, reach the hand up. Take a big inhale, reach high. Squeeze the glutes, drop the head back. Lots of love in those hip flexors. Big inhale. And then look to the left, reach to the left. And then slowly curl it down. Perfect. And just feel all that awakening because we're about to get busy. Slowly come forward. Tuck your toes. Find your plank. Your core should be active. We just used it. Shift forward, shift back, shift forward, shift back, forward, back. Hold. Take a breath in. We're going to lower for a count of 5. If this sucks for you, bring your knees down. You're at home. No judgment. Squeeze the elbows, eyeballs of the elbows forward. Grip your ribs as we go down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down to the ground. Keep those hands right where they are. Squeeze your glutes. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower chin down to the mat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower chin down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower chin down to the mat. Tuck the toes. Push up through plank. And then bend your knees and walk yourself towards your hands. Perfect. Once you get there, bend those knees generously. This is not about the hamstring. Push into the big toes. Bring your fingertips to your shins. Give me a halfway lift and lengthen. Hold. Now, really tap into this stuff in the back side of your body. I'm going to move myself away from the wall a little bit. Squeeze your glutes. Shift it forward. Draw your belly in. You'll start to feel some love in the back of the body. Right shin. Take an inhale. Push. And then just barely straighten that right leg. Shift your weight forward. Check out that right hamstring. squeeze your butt. Take a breath in, and then trade. Slight bend in the left knee, right side. I want you to do one at a time just so you can kind of see which one's grumpier. Inhale, lengthen, squeeze your butt, and then bend both knees. Now we'll do both. Inhale, pull the chest forward. This is a core workout too. I'm sneaking it in. Squeeze your butt, straighten the legs as much as you can, shift forward. Now ask yourself too, if your butt's going way out back, we try and stack the butt to knee to heel. Take a breath, squeeze your butt. Next exhale, squeeze your butt and come up to stand. Perfect. So you become, again, aware. Those who don't know, I call it your butt smile, right? That high hamstring glute connection. We want it to look like a smile, not a frown. The older we get, the more it goes from a nice perky smile to a straight line. We want to keep it smiling, right? Now, take a big inhale. Reach up. Squeeze those legs together. Take it over to the right. And then inhale. Lift up. Take it over to the left. And then inhale. Reach up. As you exhale, fingertips to the ground. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now really bend your knees. You're going to take your right leg. I'm going to show you at an angle. Cross it in front of the left. You want to get your pinky toes next to each other. And then scoot both feet out to 45 degrees. Squeeze your inner thighs and come up to stand. So it's like you're going to do a ballet, which, like, trust me, we're not doing ballet. I am in no way, shape, or form that person. Squeeze your inner thighs right here. Look down. Make sure both feet are coming out of 45 degrees. Typically, one foot's more straight. Now, reach the hands up. Squeeze the inner thighs like you mean it, and then arch to the right. Push your hips to the left. And then inhale, reach on. Let's find our IT band. This one's for you, Jack. Slowly lower down. Now, this is called Krishna's dance. I don't love it because I have a tight IT band. So just settle into the space. If you struggle to find the ground, grab a block. You'll put it here. Grab your leg. Just find something. Don't leave your arms just dangling in weightless bliss. If you have more love to give, you'll walk to the right. Maybe your left hand grabs that ankle and pulls you in a little bit. Let your head go. And then slowly come back to center. Squeeze your butt and roll it up. Perfect. Unravel. Take the feet out wide, heels in, toes out. Lower yourself down into like a goddess squat, for lack of another word. Bring your fingertips in, palm space out. Take a breath. Drop the right shoulder towards the left. Push that right knee out. Little shoulder, love inside that leg, that adductor. Inhale, lengthen, and then we go to the other side. Drop the left shoulder, look to the right, and push that leg away, and breathe. And then inhale, come up, reach up, wiggle your feet towards one another. This time we take the left foot in front of the right. So sides are really different. Right now my right leg is straight. I'm going to bend my knees and shift that right foot out. So if you look, both my feet are at a 45, and I got a triangle there. Now squeeze those inner thighs and pull your pelvic floor forward. You're going to feel your inner thigh muscles working here to stabilize those outer hips. Reach the hands up. Big inhale up, and then over to the right. And again, utilize some hip muscles. Push them to the left. If you were to feel your left hip, you'd feel nice butt dimple area there. Big inhale up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then inhale, reach up. Now we find that forward fold. We check out those IT bands and hamstrings. Again, don't let the arms dangle. Find something. Floor, block, wine bottle, beer growler, whatever your choice is. It's not at 11, so I don't know. On vacation, 11 o'clock is cocktail hour for me. but I'm just going to say it's a little early. Let the head hang. Walk to the left. If it's there. If it's not, don't worry about it. If you have the ability to walk over, you might take this a little bit into the back a little bit more when you head this way. If you hear banging, I apologize. I totally forgot. Our garage door broke last night. So the guy's here replacing some springs and, you know, Lord knows, $1,000 worth of shit. And then slowly come back to neutral. And again, round the back, engage your belly. Roll it up. Perfect. Now, take those legs out again. A little bit spicier in those inner thighs. I want you to take the feet to 45 degrees, heels in, toes out. Now, it's like you're skating, basically. Hands come to prayer to get us started. Bend in. And just push. Lift up. Ooh, and trade. I got a big pop in the hip. Lift up. This time over. Make sure your knee is tracking. Same direction as your foot. Lift your toes. Stick your butt back. Come up. Just a little mobility work here before we go into it. Lift the toes. Stick the butt back. Come up. This time, I want you to 45 the right foot, switch this foot, heel is straight on with your toes, okay? Now, really go over, you can even go elbow to knee, and push into the blade on this foot. Take it as low as you can without dumping and peeling your heel up. Now, stop. This is big. Stretch those hands forward, hips go back. Big inhale in. Big exhale out, and then come up. Use a little work to get there. Parallel on the right, 45 on the left, guys. It's been a while since I've taught this. I don't know why this came out of me today. First thing we do, just a little bend. Push into that blade. So really push the outer blade of that right foot. Find all that nonsense around the outside of your ankle and breathe into it. Now we take it a little spicier. Really go in. Keep that thing there. Reach those arms forward. And I've got your hips and I'm pulling them back. You're doing good. Take a breath. One more. And then slowly lift it up. Squeeze the glutes. Come up to stand. Perfect. Going to take a giant step to the front of the mat, and wow, feel the work that you just did through those hips and those inner thighs. Take a big inhale, reach high. Exhale, lower the hands down to the mat. Step the right foot back. Come into a nice runner's lunge. Now take an inhale, pull the heart through. Make it active, pull the right hip forward, pull the left foot back. Find a twist, reach that hand up. And then lower that hand down. Wiggle the foot to the left. Drop that back knee down. So you're in lizard now. Keep a nice long spine. First thing we want to think about, hip flexor love session here on the right. So palms are flat. Check this left knee out. Make sure your toes are going to the same party that your knee is going to. So if your toes are going to the left, or your knee is going to the left, typically the knee goes someplace differently. Just rotate the toes. We want them going to the same place. Now, pull the heart through. Make it active. Now, if you come here and you don't feel anything, I'm going to tell you that if we were in the studio, I would pick up on it like that, right? And I would come pick on you because I'm that kind of yogi. And I would ask you to use some strength versus flexibility. If you come into this lizard and you don't feel anything, you have plenty of flexibility. You do not literally need more than this unless you are in a professional sport that requires extreme flexibility. There aren't that many. Most of us, we need more strength. So if this is you, take it active. Touch the toe, lift the knee, and try and use some core to hold you up here, right? Maybe you're here and you're like, I'm total type A and I'm bored. I'm going to show you a bind.
I'm going to show it from this side and then go to the other side. If you want to play with something, because it is Friday, even though Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are all the same right now for some of us, we'll still know it's Friday. You're going to tuck the shoulder down. You're going to reach that left arm out there. I got big, long arms, so I can do this. Reach it out, and then you're going to bring it, I don't know if you can see it, up onto your back, and then reach the right arm around and catch a bind. Now, suddenly, holy shit, are you into strength, not into flexibility? I'll show you what it looks like from this angle. You look down at your toe, and you pray this over with sooner than later. We got 5 more breaths wherever you are. Squeeze that left hip wherever you are. If you're bound, slowly release. Take a breath, nice and long, and then join the rest of the world with the knee down to the ground. Now, hamstrings, we go in Jason Crandall style, and if you don't know who Jason Crandall is, he's one of my mentors. And this is brutal, but it's so yummy. Shift your hips back. So we come from here to about here. Point your toes out. Those of you that know me, you know I love this. You're going to walk up, find your heel, and shift that leg way out there. So if you have really, 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 really tight left hamstring, you're going to need that thing coming straight out here. And that is totally cool wherever you choose. Now, we just did tons of work in this right hip flexor, so we don't really need to, dip into it again. But if you want to, you can slide it out and lift your chest up. My hip flexor is good, so I'm just going to stay right here. Push through that heel. Just recognize where you are. Take an inhale. And think ribs come down. So my leg's coming, as you can see. Well, you can't really see from that angle, can you? My leg's coming out fairly significantly, about 45 degrees today. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to bring my ribs down. Now, really push through the heel and then scoot, like literally boop, bump someone next to you on the right. Come all the way. We're stretching from the calf, the Achilles, up. Calf, hamstring connectors, glute, hamstring, happy thought, a little bit of extra love, shifting that hip to the right. Now take a breath, look at your foot, rotate your toes to the ground, pinky toe to the ground. And doesn't really want to go on my body. I'm going to walk towards my foot and see if I can add a little extra space. It's a little grumpy there, I got to be honest. And then slowly come up. Bring that left leg in. You're going to give a little love. Do what you need to do. So I was teaching Wednesday night at the new brewery, Lost Worlds Brewery. And the owner, David, said funny things to me because I was super tight and I went to do something and I let out a big groan. And he said, I just assume you guys are all really flexible. I said, A, I'm in my 50s, and B, if I was so flexible, I wouldn't be healthy, right? So strength and tightness is a good thing. So recognize that. It should be a balance, strength, flexibility, with a whole lot of mobility moved in. We're going to take it into that lizard on the other side. Take the right foot, just step it forward. Slide the left foot back there. So you don't want to be on top of your kneecap, on your patella. Slide that left leg back until you're above it. If you need something under your knee, put it there. So here's our nice passive lizard. Sides are super different. One hip will be much stronger than the other. So just notice one inner thigh will be tighter, one quad is tighter. Like everything changes. Now, pull the heart through. Look at your knee, make sure your toes are going to the same place. And decide, do you want passive, like this? Totally cool. No judgment. Do you want to kick it to level 2? Tuck your toes, fire up that left leg, and pull through. I like to build into level 3, that lovely bind. So wherever you are, just kind of check it out. Know that whatever you've chosen is cool. There's a fear with this bind to take that second hand off the ground because you're going to fall. And all I'm going to say to you is, A, you're at home, so who cares if you fall. Maybe your dog sees you, right? Your cat. But there's no ego, right? There's no, I should say pride. I like the word pride better, right? We need a little ego to try and push ourselves. Now, if you're going for it, we take the bind. Right arm's gonna come under. Again, I got ape arms, so don't think you should be able to do this. Wrap it around to the back and bind. And then squeeze the crap out of that right hip. Utilize some strength in the right side. And we hold. I'm counting 5 breaths. One more inhale. And then exhale. Come on out of that. Drop the knee down. We join the more passive expression. Take a breath. Shift the hips back. Lift the heel. Slide that right leg out. So again, it's not about getting the legs straight per se. It's about a nice long straight back. And then maybe you take the leg out. Everybody's different. I always take mine out just to mess with it at different angles. Some days I take it straight out, always a little bit. And then lift the chest. Then pull the ribs forward and down. Actively push through that right side. Most important part of this equation. Push, lift. Got to lengthen the whole darn thing. Frequently, tight hamstrings have nothing to do with the hamstrings. You just have tight calves or Achilles, tight outer hip. Big inhale. Now, if you're here and you really want to tap into the glute hamstring connection, give it a little love bump to the left. Shift the hips over. I feel my whole leg. Look at your toes. Rotate them to the ground a little bit if you can. And super hard. Maybe walk towards your foot if that feels good. Steady breath. And then slowly bring that leg back around and do some circles through those hips. Into that back, whatever feels good. And then slowly tuck your toes under and have a seat again on those heels. Stretching through just the ankles and the shins here. I want you to take your right hand out, take it up, and then plant it right between the shoulder. Left hand comes up, grab your elbow, pull it back. You want to try and get it up and back. Get that arm as far down as you can. Now push your head back. Really, really good one to negate this time in our virtual world. Take a breath, draw the belly in, over to the left, just the tiniest bit. And then inhale, lift up, arms out. We trade, left arm up, palm faces forward, and then find those shoulder blades. Right arm grabs the elbow, get it back there as much as you can, draw the belly in and up, take a breath, push the head back, and then arch to the right. So notice as your chin is touching your chest, lift it, look towards me. Big smile, happy face. And then inhale, lift up. As you exhale, take those arms out, little shoulder whirl. One more little movement for right around the scapula. We're going to trade how we're seated. We're going to do this, and this is a big ask. We're going to do this in double pigeon. Why not? Stack your right shin forward. So you're going to bend it and think shin is towards the front of the mat. Your foot is away from your butt. So it's like, I'm hanging out right now. Now this top leg in double pigeon full on, there's a big, hard stacking on top. I know a couple of you could take a nap here. You'll see my left knee is a mile away from the ground. You might need to sit on a block. Super great way to do it. Most of my athletes do that. You just got to get a little extra love to make room for all this stuff, right? Maybe you come here and you put a block underneath that leg. Awesome place to be too. Whatever you are, just commit to it and arrive there. Breathe into your outer hips. First thing we're going to do, arms out, bring them forward. We'll do right over left. Try and get the cross above the elbows. Now bend your elbows, your hands will come up, and you're going to come into what we call eagle arms. Never taught these two together. I don't know what's coming out of me today with that. Now squeeze from elbow to hand and lift up. Draw the belly in and up. Right away, you should pull the elbows towards me. You'll feel your scapula, your shoulder blades, right? Now, oh my Lord, I'll show you from the side. Try and pull the hands forward. Now that's level 1 of suckiness. Let's be honest. You're getting a huge stretch. Pull the shoulders down your back. And if you can, grip the elbows straight ahead. Pull those hands to the right. You should feel a huge love session through those shoulder blades. Couple breaths, one in particular. Lots of knots around those shoulders. This is a good one to strengthen back there, but lengthen. Super active. Keep pulling. And then slowly inhale, lift up, release, do a little shoulder roll. As for what's going on down here, I don't know which one was worse for you. Excuse me. Right hand comes down, reach up, and come over. Now push into that right hand and shift the hips as much to the left as you can get. And then inhale up, left hand comes down, trade. And then inhale, come up. Just a quick breath. Take a breath in, shift forward. And then come up, unravel, give it a little windshield wiper, and then we trade. Left leg comes down first, right leg on top. Now you can see in my body, oh my gosh, such a happier side. Life is good. There's no big argument going on here. I feel a little love, a little grumpy, but like I could totally sit here and breathe with a smile on my face. So just notice, don't judge. Do what you need to do. Sit on a block, add a block, do one leg at a time, whatever. Let's work those shoulders again. Come up. Take the left over the right. Lift up. Lift the elbows up. Squeeze forward. So pull. Again, this is active. You gotta use some muscles to find some muscles, right? Squeeze your elbows, forearms, hands together. Drop the shoulders down. There's a little moment where you pull down and you kind of feel that, oh shit, yeah, I got ya. And then arch those forearms to the left. We keep pulling. So this is not like a Bikram eagle where elbows are at your boobs. You want to pull up and out and come over. Well, lots of stuff going on in my deltoid, in the back of my shoulder blades, the scapula area, like right underneath where you get those knots. Hold. Now, this is super good, again, to get rid of all that stuff from sitting here on computers. We're asking the muscles in our back to work, but we're also lengthening them at the same time, getting rid of that stuff, breaking up that tissue. Pull forward, drop down, go over, take a breath, and then come up, unravel, do a little circle. Let's check the hips. Left hand down, reach the right hand up and over. I might go over for about 2 minutes today, so if you're leaving us right sharp at 11 o'clock, I'm going to say thanks so much for joining us. These are all posted on YouTube if you want to revisit or you have a friend that might want to check it out. Melting Point Hot Yoga YouTube. Right hand down, left hand over. And again, those of us that are used to teaching to make a living, I'm normally teaching about 20 classes a week. I'm down to 3 starting next week. This is how we make our living, and we so appreciate those of you that have given us a little Venmo love. You can find me at Lindsay, Lindsay-Robertson-13. And then inhale, come up, take a breath, lengthen, come forward. Couple breaths in and out. I have had several of you ask me for a good vinyasa class because I haven't been teaching any vinyasa with Melting Point. So I'm going to try and get one on the schedule. If not, I'll just do one on my own. So just watch my social media, Lindsay Robertson Yoga. we'll play and have some fun and laugh. Maybe we'll do a cocktail vinyasa. That sounds fun. And then slowly unravel those legs. Come on to your mat. Draw the belly in and roll it down. You made it. Windshield wiper a little bit side to side. We're going to do one back bend because back bends are energy builders. Now, you could be like, girlfriend, I don't need a back bend. In which case, grab something and take a supported back bend. Still a little bit of an energy builder, but it's a great back relief. You'll take your feet out wide, lift your hips, throw a block, a pillow, a book, something yummy underneath, and just breathe, right? Super great. If you're struggling, you've got a lot of anxiety, or if you're super fatigued, your back's super tight, this is like so good for us. Maybe you want to go a little more active. There's no block. You lift your hips. You grab underneath, throw your shoulders under, squeeze and lift up. This is the back bend number 2. Level 2. Today, I got to really get some energy. You go for the full wheel. We've opened up the chest. We've opened up the hip flexion. We've used a couple breaths. Full enchilada here. Big inhale, reach wherever you are, push against the floor unless you're in that nice first one. And then slowly tuck the chin down. Unroll. Back finds the ground. Life is good again. Draw the knees in. Squeeze the eye sockets up. Huge hug of awesomeness. And then as you exhale, let those legs come out. Let those palms relax down. And breathe. Close your eyes and just from the head, through the neck, through the shoulders. We asked our core to work a little bit. We worked through the wrists. We've worked through the quads, the hip flexors, the shins, the ankles, the outer hips, hamstrings, IT bands. So much fun. Now let it settle. Staying right here, keeping those eyes closed. Soften somewhere, just a tiny bit more. Today's reminder, it's far too easy to be impatient and unkind to the ones I love because I know they'll always love me. But shouldn't I be most kind to those who love me no matter how poorly I've behaved? Shouldn't I be most tender to those who wipe my tears? Shouldn't I be most generous to those who tend to my deepest needs? Life is more livable when we embrace our humanness and remember we are all just learning and doing the best we know how. I love that. That's a big part of yoga teacher training, reminding ourselves that, like, there's no book of life that says this is how it should be done. There's books of self-help and all sorts of other shit. But we're all just learning, and we're just doing the best we can. Some days we wake up with a smile on our face. Some days we wake up a little grumpy. But learning to recognize how you're waking up and how you can hopefully switch it if you need to is really what it's all about. So I'll ask you to just kind of recognize how you're feeling now after an hour of movement through the body. Hopefully a little bit better. Starting to reconnect the movement with some breath. If you like, you could stay there and take a full-on nap, and I would give you a huge yes. And then slowly, I welcome you to roll over onto your favorite side, landing in what we call the fetal position. Right side's your solar, energetic side. Left side's your lunar side, like your relaxed side. Maybe set an intention for your day. And then bringing those palms down, I welcome you to gently lift yourself up to a comfortable seat. And then once you arrive there, bringing those hands to prayer at heart center with eyes closed, connecting the thumbs to your heart space, right in the middle of the body. Imagine that we're all in one big giant room. We send our energy in together. Take a big deep inhale in. Open the mouth. Welcome that softness, right? So important. Bringing thumb knuckles to our forehead. Together we honor that clarity of thoughts and our efforts to just stop and think. Notice. Bringing thumb knuckles to lips. We honor that clarity of speech and our efforts to stay positive and compassionate with our words or don't say anything at all. And lastly, thumb knuckles to our heart space where we honor that clarity of action and that ability as adults to stop and notice and recognize and appreciate. And I so appreciate each and every one of you for joining me today. You put me in a much better mood, so thank you. I hope I did the same. I hope you leave here feeling a little stronger for someone that may need you. Namaste. 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 Hope everybody feels great and got what you needed. I so appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll be back on Wednesday next week. Hi, Lynn. Peace out, everybody. Hey,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Happy weekend.
Have a great weekend, Lindsay.
Thanks, Sean. Bye, Hector. Bye, Lee.
Thank you.